What's up, guys? Jim the Game Guru here in my sister's luxurious abode. We're going to do the video from here. It's my sister Kat.
Hola.
And we're going to review, well, not so much review, but kind of present different party games. We have a bunch of different party games that we've played and some that we haven't played yet that look actually pretty cool. We, as a family, we get together and we play a bunch of board games.
It's a passion.
Yes, it's absolutely fantastic. We haven't done like hardcore ones like the Dungeons and Dragons or anything,
No,
but
we have some heated moments.
we do, and we have moments of like explosions. I thought a table was gonna flip over yesterday when we were playing a game. But yeah, so let's dig into some party games. All right, so first let's start with Sushi Go Party. Sushi Go Party, this is a kind of a pass the card type game where you pass cards around the table. So you'll have a menu, and you put a menu down. This too, I guess. You have a menu that you create in the center, and then a board where you move pieces around, and then each player has a hand, and you pass one card over and around. Each round until the very end where there's no more cards left, and then you tally up the points and see who wins. I don't know. I mean, this one I think is one game that we haven't played too much of.
No, it's been a while since we played it, but...
I mean, how did you feel about this game when we played it?
It was fun. It was something different. I love the whole menu concept, and so I think that... And we love sushi, so it was kind of like... I thought that was cool how they tied that in with the gameplay.
Yeah, and the artwork is actually really cool on it. The one thing that was a little concerning with me though was just the fact that it's hard to later on in the game you can't change. You're kind of stuck, so you can't really. There's no strategy to go back and change things around to get an advantage later on.
Yeah.
So if you make like a bad move or something on one hand or the other, you're kind of like, oh man, I'm done. But yeah, we've only played this game a couple times. It does have a board. The main difference between this and Go is the Go is a smaller one that does not have a board. And this one actually has a few extra cards. But yeah, so
It's
one
fun.
great.
And
One
I think
great,
also with kids, it's actually... This is something you can have your kids play too, I think. It's not too hard to learn.
yes, absolutely. Cute little meeples too, but this is one option. It is Sushi Go Party. Let's move to the next one. Dun, 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 dun. Which one do you want to do?
I mean, let's get Goat Lords.
Goat Lords. Oh, all right.
Heavy metal band game.
Yeah, we made a joke about this one. That sounds like a heavy metal. All right, you explain this one. You should know this one from last night, huh?
Yeah, but... Yeah, we just played it last night, and it was definitely a get your blood pressure going kind of game. It's fun, but it's within a second, all your points can be taken away. So
it's very combative. So with this game, you have hands of goats, and what you do is you have to lay down sets of goats. Let me put this up there so you guys can see the box. Sets of goats down in a herd. And what happens is, as you're laying down different sets of goats and herds, kind of like books in certain trick-taking games, and there's actually a dueling mechanic in this game where you can duel the other people in the group. And that's a part that gets really hectic and gives people anxiety. But it was fun. We played quite a few rounds last night on it.
Yeah, it was really good. It had a little bit of a, like people said a couple of times, it had a little bit more of a war aspect to it. But yeah, I love the artwork on this too. It's fun and it's playful and it's I think it was easy to learn. And it's not like a game that drags on for hours either. So definitely...
I think it was probably, like 40 some minutes or something.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad. This plays up to 6 people. I bought the expansion for this morning because we had such a great time with it. The expansion will extend this to 8 people. So a lot of these party games I'm going to be covering today are 8 people usually to about 10. So quite a bit. Actually, one gives you 12, which is cool. And one goes beyond 12.
Yeah. So it's like strategy, but fast-paced. So it's I don't know, it's fun.
Yeah, and each goat has points. So as you get these piles of herds, you'll have points. And the crazy thing about this game is that there's wild cards, and then that is where all the points come in. Because You can use wild cards in your dueling, and then as you stack the cards up, and people try to steal from one player to another, the herd piles, the wild cards just make some of these piles go up to like 200, 400
so you're
points.
excited. It's like you're excited that you won that book, but then like then you also have a huge target on your back, so you're like anxiety sets in. You're like, how do I save myself?
Look over here, I've got nothing. There's nothing here. But yeah, high recommend. Goat Lords is fun. Okay, next, dun 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 dun. I'm gonna do on one that we haven't played yet. It's Beat That. So I bought this a while ago. Beat That. Let's see if I can get this. Oh yeah, there you go. Now this is one game that's different because some of the artwork on here looks like Simpsons. That's
what I was gonna say too. It's like Simpsons meets Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, very much so. And it's different because this game pulls you away from the table. And the reason why is because it has challenges in there where like, okay, because it comes with a bunch of stuff. It's really cool. It comes with like these little cups and these little tokens and stuff. And what happens is you have challenges. So you'll get cards and you have challenges like, okay, can you bounce three balls in a cup at the same time or something like that.
Interactive.
Yeah, it's very so it pulls you away from the actual table. And so it's very, very active, heavy. And then they have an expansion here. It's Beat That Household Objects expansion. So the game itself will actually have the objects inside that you need to use when you're doing your challenges. But this expansion will force you to use things like a pan, a frying pan, or like ice cubes, or like toilet paper, or something around the house. That's why they call it around the household expansion. And it has dice too. But yeah, so this is all about getting up and creating like these little challenges of trying to do different things. You have chopsticks in here, and you have a tape measure. I don't know if the tape measure, maybe it's like longest something. I don't know. But yeah, so it's super cool. It's all about...
I mean, in terms of like party games, I think that would be really appealing to a lot of people. It's because some people like they get worried when they sit down and play a card game. They're gonna it's gonna bring the level down, or they get tired, and so this will help keep the momentum going. And
you're very active, and you don't have a chance to sit down. So you definitely can't be somewhere where you're around the living room table or a table like this. Yeah. So it's the only game that we have right here, right now, as far as a party game I've seen that it forces you to get up and you have to.
I'm actually looking forward to playing that.
Yeah, so I'll bring this to OBX when we go down to OBX.
Oh my god, yeah.
I think this
that
would be a fun
game. Must, especially after a few beverages are consumed. That'll be very interesting.
Nice and
not athletic.
Yes, athletic. All right. Okay. Exploding Kittens. Gotta go over Exploding Kittens. Here we go, Exploding Kittens. Another very simple card game. This goes up to 10 people. This is the party version. So with Exploding Kittens, there's two different versions. There's a regular version, which goes up to I think it's like 6 people. Then they have the party pack that gives you more cards and that's why they call it party packs. Give to party. So in this one, Battle Royale. Yeah. Stay alive. Do not draw the exploding kitten. And I mean that's it. That's the basic gist of the game. Is you'll have actions where you can steal cards from other people. You'll have ability to diffuse kittens when you draw them, and it's very intense. The intense part about this game is the draw pile that you're drawing from it gets to a point where it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and then eventually you're going to hit a kitten somehow. Yeah. And it's like, how do you avoid that? Yeah. And that's where that's the main mechanic with the game that causes the excitement.
Yeah. I mean, this was the first card game that I played it was like a action kind of card game where it had cool artwork. And so I remember when we first played this, it kind of really blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. The art was really cool. It's really creative. And, I love the different actions. How do they think of this? It's really cool. So it's definitely really, really fun to play. Yeah,
we enjoy this a lot. I'm surprised that some people on Amazon were like, oh, this game's not fun or whatever. And I mean, a lot of people did say it was great, but I think if you're with a bunch of people that don't get a thrill off of the whole battle royale kind of stuff, you don't get a thrill of trying to avoid that, and you're just drawing and you don't care that you're drawing a card, then you may not have that much fun with it.
Yeah.
But if you do get a thrill from that, then this would be an absolute blast with your group.
Definitely.
All right, so Exploding Kittens. Let's go to medium. This is one that I'm surprised that you wanted to play again.
I do. I actually really enjoyed it. We were at the lake, and I actually really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the opposite side. I thought nobody liked it. I didn't hear anything from anyone. Like, okay, let's play that again or whatever. It seemed like there was like a lot of dead spots in the game.
Yeah.
But I guess apparently some people really enjoyed it in our group. And Marilyn really enjoyed it too.
I mean, because it's one of those games where you have to know who you're partnered up with. You need to know their personality and know how to say the right words, to get them to basically say what's on the card. So
yeah, and that's the biggest thing about the game is you have so when you're paired up with people, you're in a circle, and then you're paired up with someone on your right and you're paired up with someone on your left. So you're on two teams basically, and whenever those teams come up to play through turns, you have 3 rounds. You have to get it if you get it right on the first time, you get a token that has the most points. If you get it wrong, then you have to use those 2 words that you said to then try to get the same word, to try to guess the same word in the second time. And if that doesn't happen, then you have one more chance to get the lower point token. And if you don't guess it, then you don't get any points. And that's the hard part, trying to get in the same wavelength to guess the same exact word using 2 words.
But I think that's what's cool about the game. I love it's not just like a guessing game where you have to like really kind of know your partner and think, okay, like some random word. Like, what did we have that one time? It was octopus.
Yeah.
And I said, what? I said octopus.
Oh, no, but we get that one quick. It was Greece.
Yeah,
it was vacation octopus.
Yeah, so I just said octopus, and everyone was like, Greece. It was like instant. Like, so I love that part. Like, just knowing who you're working with, and
I think you figure it out as the game goes on. You end up figuring it out eventually.
Yeah.
Like you'll figure out, okay, well, if I get it wrong the first time, and then we have these 2 new words, how can we guide ourselves to then get to narrow it?
Yeah.
You kind of like narrow it down, and then eventually you end up hitting it. Like I think on the last game we played, we had a bunch of people that hit. Actually, Ryan, my brother-in-law, hit a bunch of times with his brother and. On that last game, so.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you you could just say some random inside joke, random thing that only you guys know, and everybody else is like, "What the hell? Like, how'd you get that?" Like, so I think that's what adds like another exciting element. So
it's I'm shocked that people wanted to play it again, but apparently it was a hit with certain people.
I've actually been craving to play it again.
So medium. There you go, another party game.
I'm a little like, let's just bust it out right now.
Oh yeah, this one goes up to 8 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should play that one. I'll bring this one to OBX, and we'll definitely play that one. All right. Let's see, what else do we got? Let's do monikers. This is a game that we haven't played yet. So this one, if I can get it in the light just right, maybe. Okay, so this one is like basically charades on steroids. I mean, that's the best way to explain it. There's a bunch of cards. This thing is heavy, and it's all loaded with cards, and each card has points. And as you go through 3 different rounds, you start off a round that you can actually say some words, and then help your team guess. So you're in teams, and help your team guess the words you have. And then your second round, you can only say 1 word, and then eventually you get to a point where it's like all acting, and you can't say a single thing, and your team needs to guess the word. And you just build up points with that. It's unique kind of artwork on that. It's definitely different. There are a lot of expansions for this. And the one downside of this is if you end up buying the expansions to this, you cannot fit them in the same box. You'll have to buy yourself a new box, put everything in. But yeah, so if you're huge into charades, I know we almost played this a couple times, but then somebody was always like, well, let's play this game again.
Yeah, because we were obsessed with something else at the time, yeah. But I agree. I think charades are always a hit with with party games, so I don't think you can go wrong with that either.
No, it's I mean, it's highly rated too, so it's a good option out there if you're into charades and some party stuff. All right, let's go to Blockbuster. Let's do Blockbuster. Here we go. This was a hit with us. This is the expansion to it, by the way. So you got Blockbuster. This game actually built a lot of momentum. I feel like this game really, you started hearing about it on the radio a little bit more, and people.
I think people
really
thought it was cheesy at first. They're like, but for us, it's super nostalgic.
Yeah.
Like we remember going to Blockbuster, renting our videos on the weekend, and so I think that for us, draws us in a lot.
Yeah, it's one of the best experiences of my life is going through having there's that experience of being not always connected to something. Now we're on the internet, we're always connected, we're always going out. I mean, we always just get whatever we want media-wise on the net. But going out and being able to go to the store and as a family and pick out videos was always really, really fun. Mm-hmm. So, expansion to increase the number of cards as well. The one downside of this game is I feel like there's not a lot of cards in the game.
Yeah.
So I'm worried about replayability.
Yeah.
So like the stack of cards you get is probably like, I'll say about yay tall, maybe.
Yeah.
So this expansion might be a necessary purchase if you want to add more cards.
I think right off the bat, actually, because we played it a couple times and we got repeat cards, and so I agree.
And in the game, so how do we play this in the game? I'm trying to remember because it's been a little while since we played it. I think there's three different things, right? Three different.
Yeah. So it's 2 teams, and then each team has like appointed a person to go, and then they have to act out, do 3 different tasks. They pick up 3 cards. And
there's like a head-to-head, I believe. In the very beginning, head-to-head to see which team goes first.
Yeah, and then the advantage of that is whoever wins the head-to-head gets to pick the 3 cards out of the 6 that they think they can win. Yep. And then the other team gets the remaining cards.
And as far as the board game itself on this, there's nothing to write home about. It's very, very vanilla. It's like a parking lot. It's a Blockbuster parking lot with 6 spots.
Yes, but the Blockbuster sign. Oh, come on, that is so cute.
Yeah, you do get a Blockbuster sign that you can put up. And there's 3 different things. There's quote it, and act it, and one word. So
and you can go in any order too, whatever you think.
So quote it, you basically say a quote, and somebody from your team has to guess it. Act it means you have to act it out without saying anything, and then one word is you say that one word.
Yeah.
And hopefully somebody will get it. So yeah, it's Blockbuster, super awesome. Yeah. Definitely a thumbs up for us. Okay, what else are we gonna do now? Man, we've been going through a bunch of them. All right, so let's do the very first one that we started. Yeah. This is like the granddaddy of our party. Well, I wouldn't say that. Trivia Pursuit is probably the granddaddy with all of our board game actions in our family. But this one became a pretty instantaneous hit with us. We've probably played 5,000 games of this game. This is Roll For It. And Roll For It is a very, very simple game where all you have is you have a bunch of cards in the center, and you roll some die, and you win the cards. That's it. And you just have to win the cards before other people do. Huge hit with our kids.
Yeah.
So we have a big family. We have a bunch of kids in the family. You can easily play it. And man, I would probably say this is the one game that most of our family and friends have purchased.
I mean, it's fun, and not only that, it's super portable, and it's super easy to set up and break down. So like if it's a weeknight and we're just like, hey, let's play a quick game or something, this is usually our go-to game.
Yep. Yeah, it's so easy to play. Like, and if there's times where you're like, oh, I just don't want to think. I don't want to think about anything. Yeah. I just want to roll some die
have some fun,
and just drink some drinks. This is the game to do it. So it's up to 8 people, so you can get a pretty good group around the table for it. Yeah. The only thing that doesn't make this portable is if you need a dice tray to roll your dice in. But other than that...
Which we had,
the queen of losing dice over here, just chucking it off the table. But yeah, if you need a dice tray...
I have a dice tray. It contains my rolls.
It's a requirement for her right now. So that is Roll For It. Another awesome game. Let's go into... This is a game that I just picked up recently, like 2 or 3 days ago, because it just looked cool. And this is Halapa Ghost. I can get Halapa Ghost up there. I know it's kind of hard to get the backside to show you guys here, but so Halapa Ghost is, I don't know a whole lot about it. The only thing I know is it's kind of like Survivor, like the Survivor, the show. And what you do is you help each other try to survive until and build a raft and then try to escape before a hurricane's supposed to hit the island. And there's only so much food that's available, and some people can go get some fish or whatever it is. Some people can go to a shipwreck and find some items. So it's one of those games. I feel like it's one of those games where you try to help each other out, but then eventually people get screwed and they end up dying, and you're kind of eliminating people from the game until eventually you have one winner at the very end. It looks cool. I don't know too much about it beyond that, but it is an option. This goes up to 12 people.
Oh, wow.
So you have minimum of 3, and you can play up to 12 people. You do have a board with this as well. So it's not one of those ones that are easy to kind of just lay in a living room and just sprawl out, or a huge table. So people need to be kind of close to the board, which is kind of a downside. So if you have 12 people that are trying to get close to the board so they can see. But other than that, it's another good party option. Very Survivor based if you're into that. Okay, cool. So that is Halapa Ghost. So I want to try this out one day with the family. All right, so let's go now. We're gonna save the one that we've been playing a lot. For last. Yeah. We'll save that one for last. Because I know we have lots of opinions on that. So Snake Oil. So Snake Oil, really cool. Here's an expansion for Snake Oil as well. This is Snake Oil. It is a game where you pitch product ideas to a customer.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. There's the back. Very simplistic game. It's a game where you pitch product ideas. Crude oil is the cards that have profanity in them. Yay! Profanity and perverted words. Hooray! So that's what crude oil is. You can mix that with it. So what you do in this game is you have 2 cards. You have a customer. Someone plays a role of customer, and you pitch a product with those 2 cards combined. And then the one product that the customer likes the most will end up giving you their customer card. And then as you go through and everyone is the customer, eventually the person that has the most customer cards from their pitches wins the game.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very, very simplistic. It's kind of like, some people have been saying like an alternative to Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But I don't know if it plays like that too. It doesn't really,
or
it's
even
different.
the mean game too. It's kind of like the same concept where you have to like...
Because it's not like a bidding. It's kind of like a like winning someone's approval or something.
Yeah.
Like I am the best.
But I kind of like the aspect of this kind of game where in terms of where you have to know the person. So you're pitching not just a good idea, trying to come up with a good idea, but something that would appeal to that person you're pitching it to.
Yes, absolutely.
So I do like that.
Because some people can be very logical. Like my other sister. My other sister's very logical. Yeah. So you do a very logical pitch to her. Yeah. Me, I'm kind of like the... I don't know, like
the crude oil.
Crude oil, yeah. You pitch your product in a crude way to me, and you'll probably have me laughing, and I'll end up picking your stuff. Yeah, so definitely know your audience. Now, knowing your audience is also very important, not just to who you're pitching, but knowing your audience is also very important when you buy the games and before you play them with people, because... well, if you have a bunch of conservative people over your house, you're not going to want to rip out the crude oil. That might be a bad move. So whenever you're buying any of these party games, please make sure you always think about your audience, and so that way you don't offend them and they violently leave your home in disgust.
Ruin game night.
What a good way to implode game night. Okay, so right before we get to our last game, we'll cover... actually, no, I have 2 more. Before our last game that we really we've been playing the hell out of, and so this one's Relative Insanity. Relative Insanity. It's kind of popular lately because it's had a lot of advertisement. This is a game that Jeff Foxworthy actually created. Oh. I have no idea what it's like as far as gameplay. I do know. Well, I mean, I do have an idea. It's kind of like Cards Against Humanity, where you have these setup cards, and somebody lays down a setup card, and you have 400, like all these other cards where people need to lay down a card and say, okay, is this the funniest one?
Yeah.
And whoever in the group puts the funniest saying to go with the setup card will actually win that particular round. I bought this one because it was cheap. I saw it on Amazon. It had a cheap ass sale too. It was $12, super cheap. And it's got 500 cards in here. You have 100 setup cards, and you have 400 cards that you can actually use with those setup cards. And I'll just give you an example of some of this. So, like a setup card would be like, when my brother brought out his new baby to show the family, Granny blurted out, and then 3 people put in their cards, "You are not the father," and another person said, "Somebody took a trip to the land of bad decisions," or another one did, "I just vomited a little bit in my mouth." I'm sure this is probably the nicer cards in the box put on there, and there's probably ones that are probably a little bit more crude in the game. But another game that you should probably want to be very careful when it comes to conservatives, because this probably has some words and some phrases in here that are probably not going to go well. I've already seen comments on Amazon on that. People like, "Oh, I thought it was a family-friendly game, and oh my God, what is this? And some people say, you shouldn't be playing this with kids. I was playing this with kids. Well, I mean, the age limit on this thing.
It's 14
it's 14 and up. Like, why are you playing with kids? Especially if it's got crude stuff in it. But yeah, so definitely be aware of that. But it's another option, Relative Insanity, and Just Foxworthy's has been a popular comic for a long time. So this we should definitely try.
Definitely.
Once. Okay. Let's go. Should we just this one now?
No, save it for last.
You want to save it for last? Okay, I'll save it for last. So this is one called One Night Ultimate Werewolf, right here. This one's very simple. This one plays a lot. It's up to 10 people. It is a fast game. 10 minutes.
Wow.
It's a 10-minute game. And what you do in this game is you have a village. You have villagers in a village, and you have werewolves, right? And all you do is it's one of those like social deductive type games where you need to figure out who in your group is a werewolf. And if you do that, then you win. If you don't, then the werewolves win. Very, very, very simple. And it says on here, no moderator, no elimination, no downtime. So it's very, very fast, 10 minutes, and that's it. So we don't know a whole lot of this. We haven't played this yet, but it is another option. It goes up to 10 people. So if you want to do something where you can kind of...
I like that. I like the fact that it's a quick one. So if you're not, like, don't want to get roped into a long-term game, like, I do like that. So
yeah, sometimes it's dangerous, though. Because sometimes you can be like 10-minute game. Yeah, if you get addicted, and all of a sudden you play like,
it's like 5... That's okay.
Yeah, you have 5 more games, and before you know it, you've already played an hour of it.
Yeah, that's true.
So what? One Night Ultimate Werewolf. Another good choice for a party title. Okay, last one. Dum, bum, 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 bum. The one that we have been playing the most lately.
Yeah.
Yep. Wits and Wagers. Wits and Wagers. This is the Vegas version. Very, very cool game. There we go. It's trivia based. Trivia, Wits and Wagers. Okay, so this one is not like your Trivia Pursuit where you have a certain range of answers you can guess from, or you have to actually guess the correct answer right off the bat.
I feel like you need to like whip out the board.
Yeah, you want to whip out the board? We'll do that. We'll whip out the board. This is trivia based on mainly statistics. So this is a very statistics type. So they'll say something like, in the U.S., what percentage of people have air conditioners in their home? Stuff that you would never ever guess ever. So here's the board right here. And it's set up like a casino, right? It's set up like a casino where you can put down everyone gets these little. So what you do in this game, everyone gets these little boards where you write an answer on there. And it's very much like Price is Right. So everyone writes an answer, they put it down upside down like that so no one can see it. And then when everyone gets done writing an answer, you flip the boards up, and you put them in a row based on what the answers are.
From lowest to highest.
From lowest to highest. And then what happens is anyone could then bid on an answer.
Yeah.
Because you'll get like these little kind of chips and tokens. Well, I'll bring this up a little bit so you guys can see. Like you can see like these little chips and tokens. Very like Vegas style chips in a way. These are all cardboard. I wish these were actually better than cardboard. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Price is Right. So here the Price is Right part comes in because You want to guess the right answer without going over. So you place all your bets on the right answer without going over. But I like the fact that answers are not easy to get.
Yeah.
You can't. There's no way in hell. A lot of these you just don't know. And one of the best parts about this game is that we have some massive conversations.
Yeah.
We're always like, and that's probably one of the things that Ryan absolutely hates, because like, no,
it drags the game on forever.
Yeah, it's only supposed to be a 20-minute game, and we were playing 40 minutes or an hour. Because we like to have these long discussions about the
debates
answers.
and then we look up the answer and we like just see what the explanation is and
and we're all like, well, if this happened then, and then this happened over here, and this happened, so it's got to be something in here.
Yeah.
And you'll have like a long 20-minute debate on each question. There are only 7 questions or 7 rounds. Each round you have 1 question, and the person with the most chips and most money at the end of the game will win the game.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely it's been. I need to buy some more questions. We've been going through them pretty good. But actually, we have it at the other side. So you have a stack of 100 cards. You don't go. I mean, we play a lot of games, and we still haven't gone through the first set of the questions, because each card has 2 sets. So we've almost finished the first set, and then what happens is you go back through the same cards again, but you use the other set. But yeah, it's
a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, trivia is always a hit with our family, so this just adding the whole casino element to it just really elevates it.
And the whole price is right part. It just I like it, because you don't have to be the smartest person when it comes to trivia, because there's no way you're going to get these answers. It's impossible. But yeah, that's Wits and Wagers. That is the Vegas edition. This is actually probably the most expensive game, though. I would say, like, a lot of these other games were a lot of them range kind of from like $12 to about, I don't know, $30-ish. This one right here is probably a little bit more expensive. This one at full price is about $40. So,
I think it's totally worth it, though. I mean, I feel like it's always a crowd pleaser. I feel like everyone always has a good time, and
this one was like kind of like a hit. Like, Roll For It. I think Roll For It took off, and then once we played this one, people were like, "Holy shit, we need to play that again."
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. Awesome. So, how many did we go through here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? Am I counting right? Am I counting right?
It's about that, yeah.
13 party games that you can buy. And whoa, that's a nasty sound there. 13 party games that you guys can buy and play with your family. And I know now it's definitely tough with COVID and people quarantining and stuff. But if you're able to get together with your family or locked away and get to enjoy some board games, then these are some definitely good hits.
I agree.
Cool. All right. So, adios from my sister Kat's house. We will see you later. If you guys are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. Bye.
Bye.